Hey Cancer, this is your general tarot reading for Cancer, Sun, Moon and Ascendant or Rising sign for the month of September. Cancer, all aboard, because we're about to set sail on the seas of change. Yeah, something is definitely changing for you this month. And one of the big things that's changing for you are all those little things that have been bothering you, that you never got around to organizing, fixing, boxing up, packing up, finding a solution to. You're now going to find those solutions because your mind is very sharp. You recognize changes somewhere along the line are coming. And this is a real month where your mind is super sharp to get prepared, to get organized, to get ready for those big changes, Cancer. And it's going to be wonderful. It's a great month for you literally to start rooting into your house, rooting into everything you own, your garage, your cellar, anything like that, and really pull things out. Use those beautiful Cancerian pincers to start pulling things out and putting them into some semblance of order, some semblance of putting everything in its right place. Everything has to be organized. It's a great month, particularly for those of you who, have an office space where you need to refile, get everything put into a systematic order. And certainly, I feel some of you, it's just the energy of pulling everything apart so that you can look at it and say, how do I fix this? How do I get this clear? Because I know changes are coming and I need to have everything outside of me in a complete state of order, in a complete state of ready to go, ready to move, ready to make something happen quickly so that I can get on with these changes. So it's very, very good. Now, for some of you, what could those changes be? Some of you could be changing your work. Some of you could be changing your whole system of how you kind of live even. Maybe some of you are even thinking of moving by the second half of the month. And it's like, I will survive, like Gloria Gaynor. I will survive by organizing as much as I can and getting my mind on that. The reason for all of this happening, as your beautiful moon card comes out, oh, did you see that? A bit of light came onto the subject there as we held up the moon. I don't know, did that show up in the camera? Just suddenly got light all of a sudden. Yeah, with all the energy this month, it's almost like that. Something just lighting up and saying, I get it. I know how to handle this. I know what I'm doing. I know how to deal with this person, this situation. I know it. And as I was saying, the reason for that happening, Cancer, is because as we enter the month, the Sun, Mercury, Mars and Venus are all in the 7th house, or I beg your pardon, the 3rd house. I'm getting confused. Now, I'm getting confused because I'm sitting here telling you about getting super, super organized. Maybe there's that feeling of, I've been confused, I've been putting things off for so long. I haven't got things clear in my mind and I'm getting things mixed up. This month that's going to change. This month it's all going to be super clear with all those energies in the 3rd house. It's a great time for some of you to go back and do, like an evening class, brush up on some skill, brush up on whatever maybe work skills you have to make them more relevant in the marketplace. It's a great time maybe to study a language or to actually get back into a hobby where you're using your beautiful Cancerian pincers, your lovely Cancerian hands. So it's just that feeling of the mind and the hands are working together to make something happen for you, and it's very, very strong. And it's a great month for communicating. It's a great month for making appointments that you need to make, going to visit that person, going to meet up with that client, going on an interview, speaking to somebody, like you actively making something happen. It's like you're on top of it this month, Cancer, and I really, really love that for you as a few cards come out here. Yeah, let me see if this came out. And that, yes, and then that. Now, the other things that are happening this month, Saturn on September 18th is going direct in Capricorn in your house of relationships and partnerships, basically of other people. Now, other people can be the actual partner that you're with, your current partner, or it can be a business partner or anybody that you have a one-on-one with. could even be audiences or anything like that. There's a real feeling of, you know what, for a while everything's been a bit stuck in the mud. Not being able to understand people, not being able to deal with them, not being able to handle them, not being exactly sure of what they want from you. There's a moment of, what the hell do you want from me? I'll give you what you want, but what do you want? I'm trying here in relationships. I'm trying to get along with that co-worker. I'm trying to get along with that family member. But what do you want? Just tell me, please, what do you want? And then we'll get on with it. But with Saturn going direct this month, there might be that real new energy of saying, I get it, I get it. The obstacles are somewhat being removed. It's getting easier now to finally understand, what do other people expect from me? What do they bloody want? What do you want from me? And then you can get on with being more agreeable with each other, understanding each other better, kind of working with people in a much more harmonious way. So that's really nice. And certainly for those of you in relationships where there could have been a bit of conflict, or a bit of, again, that thing of, what are we doing here? What? There could be a kind of better feeling coming in here for you, Cancer. So that's really good. Now I will say this, maybe last month and maybe this month again, it could be a big cleanup for those of you who do want to finally purge a relationship that's not working for you. Cross-watchers, don't panic, please. This will be something that obviously Cancer will have mulled over for a long time, because Cancer, you don't just kind of let people go that you love. I mean, it takes a bit of a push to get rid of somebody once you welcome them in your beautiful heart and soul. But maybe there's last month and this month, there's the real need now to say, you know what, bitch, I have to purge you. You have to get out of my beautiful lagoon here, because there isn't room for both of us here. You know, this beautiful, clean Cancerian water doesn't want to be turned into a swamp with your toxic shit. So there is this real push now for you to remove some of that toxic situation, behavior, people, things like that going on. And it's a good job, because you need that clean space, the clear mind to get moving, get going, make shit happen, Cancer. And you will do it. Now, we have a beautiful full moon this month, Cancer, on September 14th, a full moon in a fellow water sign, Pisces. And that's happening for you in your 9th house. Now, it's working strongly with Neptune in there. Neptune is retrograding in this 9th house. And it's that feeling of, you know, probably being somewhat challenged this month by your beliefs. Maybe you know a lot about a certain subject, or maybe you have a fixed opinion on something. And this month could be a real month where you're saying, you know what, maybe I need to see why other people think different ways. Maybe people have different, you know, philosophies to me, religious opinions to me, maybe political stances to me. And okay, for a while maybe I said, no, you're stupid, this is the way. But at least now this month, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go in and at least try to understand what you want. Try to understand why you think the way you do. Try to understand what's motivating your mind to absorb that information. And maybe I can learn something even bigger from that here. And for some of you, I'll say this could be a real moment where you somewhat get quite sensitive around larger themes and topics. Again, like somebody might be challenging your stance on something that you hold very, very dear. But you could resist this, Cancer, or you could say, okay, chill, bitch. Let me at least try to understand why you're taking that opposing stance to me. And that's what I'm saying, Cancer. You may not completely change your mind about something, but at least you'll say, well, I might not agree with them, but I get why they think that way. So there seems to be a real moment of letting some real opposition go. Me against them, this is my opinion against yours. And kind of playing with that a little bit more. So that's very good. Now, this could mark a time for some of you where you might be really in the mood to travel, or to study, or to just go away from it all. But then once you do that, Cancer, there's a feeling of, this was fine, this was good, but I do actually need to get back in touch with the real world. I do need to get back in touch with the marketplace, with what's relevant, with what's moving, with the gossip even in some cases. There's a feeling of wanting to get back into the thick of it, back into what's moving and shaking, particularly for those of you who have a business. It's a great time to kind of come down from the mountain and get back into the marketplace and find out, well, what is actually relevant these days? What is actually cooking out there? What are the new crazy fabulous ideas that people are coming up with out there? And maybe I can incorporate some of that into my creativity, my projects, my work, my life, So we're just waiting on 2 more cards here, Cancer. Other things that are going on the second half of the month, say from September onwards, everything starts moving into Libra, into your 4th house. Now, you're okay with this. 4th house is a lot to do with family, privacy, being at home, spending quiet time studying, doing your hobbies, doing your own thing, cooking, eating, spending time with family, etc. And there could be a real moment in the second half of the month where there seems to be a bit of, something needs to happen. Maybe it's, for some of you, it's like you need to redecorate your home and it's a bit of a push. You have to make a bit of an effort to do it. Or you need to pack up a bunch of stuff in your home, and with the kind of change of season this month, it's a feeling of, well, I need to change my winter clothes to summer clothes or vice versa. Or I need to rearrange something in my home, even move home for some of you. That could be happening. So there's a feeling of, this is a bit of pressure to do something at home, but I'll do it because home is my heart, home is my castle, and I will do whatever it takes to make this right in some cases. Dealing with family members might be a bit difficult, or the logistics of something in your home, but you'll get through it, Cancer, and you'll get through it with flying colours. I know you will, because your mind is on it now, and as the last card comes out, the Cancerian card, I love it. So Cancer, let's go over to your big grand Cancerian overview. Ta-da! So we open up with a Sagittarian card and a Moon card. Maybe there's a Sagittarius Sun, Moon or Ascendant in your life who's acting as somewhat of a catalyst of change for you this month. Sagittarius sits in your 6th house, Jupiter in there, expanding your work horizons perhaps, or increasing the level of work you're going to have to do this month. That's why I'm feeling there's a lot of running around for you this month, Cancer, but you can cope. You're fine with this. You'll deal with this. It'll be no sweat to you. But the work is on. A lot of organising, a lot of scheduling, and a lot of things to do, that's for sure. But one of the things I feel that's coming, and it's being strongly felt, I think, by the Piscean full moon that's coming in, and that is maybe something that's been shown to you, something that's been revealed to you that you might not have noticed before. And it could be something like how chaotic certain things were in your life, or disorganized things were, or maybe very confused communication with other people, things getting lost in translation. You may be speaking from your heart and another person speaking from their passions or their intellect or something, and you saying, this is a total mismatch. Nobody is understanding the true meaning of what I'm trying to say here, what I'm trying to communicate here. But that's what you're working on this month, Cancer. You're taking charge of something. You're taking charge of how something is happening. You're on top of it. And you're going to communicate this in a very clear way so that nothing gets lost in translation, so that nothing is misunderstood. It's going to be communicated clearly. And this is a very healing card too. Communication that's healing for you. And I think that's what the full moon is also bringing in, some deep level of healing communication, maybe between you and somebody that you love, that you've had this mismatch of energy with, or every time you try to say something, they'd say, I don't understand where you're coming from. And the frustration building inside of you because of that is just making you, And this is a Sagittarian card who can sometimes be very blunt And you might find yourself again this month having to be super blunt. Say, this is how it is. Don't ask me to explain myself. I know what I'm doing. It is as clear as this. It is up to you to try to figure this out. How can I be clearer? How can I explain it any more than this? It is something that I feel. Don't ask me to intellectualize a feeling. You know, either you feel it or you don't. That is my bluntest I can be with you, bitch. So, you know, you're kind of being very direct like that. These are my feelings, deal with it. This is what I'm organizing, deal with it. This is where I'm going, this is my adventure, this is what's happening, deal with it. So that's very, very, very strong. But I did say that even though you're being blunt like that you do at some point throughout the month kind of soften up a little bit. There is a moment where you kind of say, okay. You didn't hear me the first time. Let me explain it in even clearer terms. And wait, maybe you should explain to me why you don't get what I'm trying to say. What is it that you don't understand? How can we communicate in a way that we do actually both understand where we're coming from? So that seems to be very strong, this communication thing. You insisting, but then at some point standing back and saying, okay. Talk to me and tell me what's gone wrong here, you know. And then there's a beautiful, beautiful flow of emotions, which I think that's what's needed. Maybe there was just some mismatch of emotional understanding. That's something that needs to be cleared up too. Maybe that could be a big answer, a big solution to maybe some of the problems you might have been having with another person. It's not that you didn't maybe understand what was being said, but maybe each of you didn't understand the heart motivations behind what you were both trying to achieve. You know, and maybe then both of you having this stance of saying, well, I'm not budging, and the other one saying, I'm not budging. Now it's more open for talks, more open for discussion, more open for understanding. And that's why I feel there's this great, okay, I see it now. And an opinion gets changed. And certainly a way of communicating with somebody gets changed, where both of you are in a much better communicative space. And then you kind of bridge the divide there somehow. So that's very sweet, Cancer. I like that for you. Yeah. But it's somebody maybe with a strong air energy. And I felt that as I was tuning into the first two cards, this person might have a strong sun, moon or ascendant in Libra, Aquarius or Gemini. And there's a feeling of, you know, I have to keep going back over my emotions. I have to keep reliving this thing, re-explaining this thing, always doubling back and feeling like I've always got to cast a light again on these old hurts or these old feelings. And every time I try to go over it with them, this is the same thing. You did this to me before. And every time I explain to you that I don't like when you do that because it hurts me, or I don't like when you do that because it makes me feel very unsettled, or it makes me feel like that you think that I feel powerless when you don't listen to me. You know, and I feel like we're losing our bond, or we can't bond with each other when you don't hear what I'm trying to say and feel about this situation or about our relationship in general. Because this is the card sometimes of somebody just not listening and not being fair. It's like they have their opinion, they have their way of doing things, and if you challenge them, then they might get quite salty, or they might get quite snappy or even bitchy, or very hurtful with their words. And this is the energy of, I have to keep reliving this. I have to keep going back and explaining something to them about how I feel. Did we not explain this the first time around? There's a feeling I feel, Cancer. There's somebody that there's almost this thing of 1 minute you're like dogs with each other, you're fighting with each other, and can't bear to be in the same room as each other, whoever this might be. It could be a family member, a co-worker, a boss, even your partner. It's like, I can't bear to be around them. But then one moment, somewhere when the stars align, you have this great moment where both of you are on a really great page with each other. And it's like, why can't we be like this all the time with each other? When we're like this, I really, really, really like you. Maybe even love you. Why can't it be always like this? And then the stars all move again and you're back to being, here we are again with this, the alter ego, the other side of you that I just can't cope with. But that's something I feel that's getting resolved here this month. There's again, I said, bridging the gap, trying to figure out what is in that gap where one minute you get somebody you really, really like, and then the next minute you get the other person that you can't bear. It's like, how do we find the antidote for the Jekyll and Hyde syndrome here with this person? But you do. You find it because your mind is on it. Now, mid-month, this is beautiful. This is you finding true abundance, true value in yourself. Now, this is Venus in an earth sign, and Venus is in Virgo this month until the 14th. So for the first 2 weeks, Venus is saying there's a lot of value to what you've got to communicate here. There's a lot of value in giving somebody space and time to understand where they're coming from. There's a lot of time in sitting down and having this conversation, clearing the air, making your point. There's a lot of value in you being understood. And on another level too, increasing your value by, as we said earlier, by going back and doing a new skill or increasing your workplace value or your actual value in some way by brushing up your skills, brushing up your arts, your hobbies, your creative things, finding the right tools to make something run smoothly for you, because there is abundance here. There's an abundance of intelligence, there's an abundance of being able to organize something, there's an abundance of brushing up your skills, and it's all like this brings abundance. But communication is key, and that is your doorway through to abundance. I feel for some of you too, if it's a business thing that you're in, get back knowing how to use social media, get back knowing what the word on the street is, get back, doing your marketing, doing your knocking on doors, doing your going out and meeting and greeting to promote what it is you're doing, because that's where the abundance is. Don't ever underestimate that thing of going back to grassroots and meeting people face to face, because there is something of abundance in that. Because I think that there have been a lot of opportunities that you've been neglecting, Cancer, in your career, in your work, maybe meeting new friends, maybe meeting new loves. It's like there are a lot of opportunities out there. There are a lot of fish out there in the sea that you could maybe go back and start exploring again, because there is an abundance of opportunities here that I think around the time of the full moon you realize that you haven't taken full advantage of. Opportunities that could be wasted. And on another level, this is Venus trying to be very practical and earthy in Virgo, trying to be super organized with something that has been in a state of chaos, and it could even be relationships in general. So we kind of already talked about that, and it's going to get strong about the full moon, bringing some level of practicality, organization, clarity, understanding back to a relationship that was all thrown off balance. Yeah, all thrown off balance. Now, she's also quite a nurturer, like you, Cancer. And when she's in the 6th house there, or in Virgo, in the 3rd house there, it could be time also to put some order and take care of the health of your pets and plants and things like that. Taking care of small details. You know that old phrase, Cancer, where there's muck, there's brass. In other words, where there's the small details or places where nobody wants to go, places that people skim over, that they won't actually do the work and get right into, there's brass. In other words, money or abundance or luck or fortune. It's like, take care of the small details in everything this month, and there is luck. So that's really nice. Now, something is definitely coming to an end. You're calling time, and it is time, because with Gabriel coming in, blowing the horn, he's bringing a lot of stuff up. You see, he's gone into the cellar and he's opened up all the boxes, and he's saying, are we throwing any of this shit out? What's going on? Are we organising this? You'd be much happier if you got organised and threw some of this dead crap out. So there is some sort of organisation happening at some real level in your life, but also in your subconscious, also in your spirit, also in your psyche. In the etheric realm, Gabriel, the angel, is coming in and saying, there's other things that need to be cleared out here. Skeletons in the closet. Things that you put into boxes and pushed way back into your psyche because you didn't maybe know how to deal with them at the time or want to deal with them at the time. And now, mid-month, it feels with the full moon, all of those things are coming back up to the surface. Because why? Not because they're trying to taunt you, torment you, or make you sad, but because it is time, it is divine time for you to really sit back and use this clarity you have this month and say, yeah, it's time to let something or somebody really and truly go, so that I can have my happy space again, so that after all the tears, after all the water being shed, all the salt water tears, when the sun shines through those tears, it casts a rainbow, which gives me hope again, which gives me happiness again. So I think there's your fellow water sign Pisces is giving you a very, very, very deep and spiritual gift this month. And one of those things is about clearing out those things that you couldn't really let go of before. And I'm going to say this because I'm feeling this too, Cancer. I feel at some point this month there is that thing of you going through old photographs, old memories, old things from your past, and feeling really happy about that. Taking out old photographs and going, oh God, I remember this photo, I remember this person, I remember that time. And with the energy of being organised this month, it could be like gather up all your photographs and put them in a scrapbook, put them in frames, pull all that old shit down from your shelves and things like that you're not using, and maybe put some nice memories up, photographs of things that make you really happy. Sometimes when we think that we've to purge the past, that somehow we've to kind of get a flamethrower to it or kind of drown it and say, don't come back. But really, sometimes in order to let something go, we must first see it. We must first allow it to kind of have its natural flow. So that's what I'm feeling. Take everything out, photographs, memories, mementos, and don't hide them, suppress them, or bury them down deep in a treasure chest under the sea. Instead, bring them out and then start emotionally either reconnecting or disconnecting in a very organic, natural way from something. Yeah. So I feel a lot of you, maybe even this month, letting go of very personal things that it's just time to pass them on, let them go, or else put them out in full display. So there's something in that, Cancer. Maybe you'll know what that means. Maybe you'll know or see how that pans out mid-month. It's something very organic, and it's something I will let something just naturally happen. And then that will give me the space here and the space here to cleanly move on and let go of something. So that's really strong. Now, things might get tough at the very end of the month. It could be Jupiter squaring Neptune, maybe around the 21st, very strong there, where it's time to let something go. The moon will be in the 12th house at that time for you. But it's all about the more organised you are, the better this change, because we did say we're set sailing for the seas of change. and something is changing, and I just feel you might need an extra little bit of a push to allow something change, and it might be very hard for you to push. It might be a lot of hard work, but don't give up, Cancer. Keep pushing. And I will say at the end of the month, also do your best to kind of have a bit of privacy to deal with certain things. You've got a lot of energy in the 4th house, which is about privacy. Give me alone time. I need to do this without anybody interrupting me. I'm going to maybe let my friends and family help me with something. I feel some of you are moving, that's what I'm feeling, or changing something big. But it's like you don't have to do it all on your own if it's too big of a move or too big of a push. And don't resist letting other people help you. If they want to help, let them help. Because I feel, at the end of the month there is that feeling of, I can do all of this myself. Don't come near me. But maybe you do need somebody to help you. Maybe you do. Now look at this. We end up with these two beautiful cards. The Knight striding on his beautiful horse towards the Queen. This is the Queen of Water, the Knight of Water. Something is happening that's very positive for you this month, Cancer. You end the month feeling like maybe a real desire has come true for you. You've set something in motion and the rewards are coming back. This is the Knight returning from his mission with something very valuable, with something that feeds your heart and soul. And she's receptive. She's sitting there and opening up her beautiful jewel and allowing the Knight to kind of pour something of very good, strong value into that. You feel topped up. You feel energized. You feel loved, cared for, like somebody is listening to you. You feel in love with somebody, in love with your partner, maybe in love with somebody new. You feel in love with your life, in love with your project. You feel very, very happy and content, Cancer, at the end of the month. And I feel for some of you, it's that feeling for me of something good is returning to you, something that you've been waiting on, maybe a person, a family member even, or something that you've been working so hard on that you almost were at the point of giving up, where it's like, no, it comes back, it returns, it pays off, and you are just there receptive with open arms saying, bring me all of that good stuff. Come to me. I will receive it. I will take all of this good stuff on. There's a feeling here of almost getting what you want. Things being very easy for you. It's like a very quick transition from if you let people in, if you let them help you, if you get talking to people, they might be very compliant. And it's like, I should have done this all along. People are helpful. People will maybe do something that benefits me, all because I was more sincere with them. I'm not saying you were insincere, Cancer. I'm saying that you maybe didn't let them in. But the more flow of good feeling there is between you and other people, it's almost like, this is my happy space. And other people, that's what I feel, are responding to you being in your beautiful Cancerian happy space, because it's that thing of, they keep coming and they keep bringing you the good stuff and they keep surprising you with more of what you want, more of what you need, and more of what makes you happy. It's like everything just all aligns at the end of the month and falls into place because you are more receptive to receiving the good things from other people, and to receiving the good vibes from other people, and to receiving all the good vibes from the abundant and beautiful universe. Oh, Cancer, that is really, really nice. I really love that energy for you this month. I really enjoyed that vibe for you. And I think you're going to enjoy it. All the work and all the organization you have to do seems to change something here for you, where you say, I do actually need to let the universe in, let more people in, let healing in, let a flow in. And then it just falls in and it's like, shit, I should have done this a long time ago because now I'm getting all the good stuff. I love it. I love it, and my love, you deserve it. You deserve every bit of that, all the good stuff flowing your way. So my beautiful, I'm going to leave it at that. And I'm very happy to leave it at that. But you know these are the general energies, and you know where to come by now, really, to get all the nitty-gritty details, to find out what's going on behind all of this general energy. You know to come to the VIMEO readings. And they're all linked down there. Somewhere in the description box you'll see a link. Click on it and we'll bring you to the VIMEO readings, and we'll open it all right up. We'll find out what exactly is going on with these relationship situations. For the singles, is there love magic for you this month in Virgo season? What's going on with your money and career? What's going on with your home, with your family, with your friends, and anything else that we didn't really touch upon here? We'll open it all right out in those VIMEO readings. As I said, the link is down there below. Come along, my beautiful, and we'll figure it all out. My gorgeous, I'm going to leave it at that. Enjoy the month, I know you will. And as always, I'm going to leave you with all my love and a great, great big kiss from me to you. Mwah. Until next month, my beautiful. Bye.